Hi, I'm Dee Wilkinson, and welcome to our YouTube channel at Southwest Coaching, where we produce bite-sized videos for coaches. So it might be that you're a coach and you'd like to use these for your clients to help explain certain tools and techniques. It might be that you're a therapist and you want to share them, or just use them for yourself. So today we're going to talk about the Wheel of Life. So this is quite a simple tool, but really effective because it hones in and creates focus and movement, which is what we want in our lives. And we use it to really map out our sense of satisfaction in our life at the moment. So the first step is to get a piece of A4 paper, maybe, and some pens, and to draw a large circle. And then you want to divide the circle into 8 segments. Why it's at 8 segments, it just gives us an overview. We don't necessarily have to use 8 segments. Some people might not be able to fill them all, and some people might want to cut a segment in half because there's a lot going on in their lives. So here's an example. You can draw out the wheel, create a segment. And then what we're going to do is label the segments. So this is where we compartmentalize areas of our life within the wheel. There's lots of labels. I've put some up as an example, but you might want to have your relationship as an area of your life, your family, your friends, the environment where you live, your home, might have hobbies, your health, finances, all the elements that really are the sort of major headlines of components of your life, and then fill in the 8 segments. And again, if you've got too many, try and keep them strategic, but you can cut a segment in half if you need to. If you haven't got as many as 8, that's absolutely fine. Just do the ones that you've got. So once we've labeled the segments and we've created that focus view into our lives, we look at scoring each segment. So if you imagine in the center of the wheel is 0 and on the outside is 10, that's the measurement we're going to use, and you can see it in the example there. And then we're going to use this in terms of satisfaction. So how satisfied are we with this area of our life currently, right now, at this present moment? 0 being not satisfied at all, and 10 being it's the best it can be. And then we want to create a score in that segment, because we're going to add them all up later. So have a look at your relationship. How satisfied and happy are you with your relationship at the moment? Put a score in on that measurement line somewhere, and go on to your finances and do the same, and do your career and your work, etc., until all the segments within the wheel have a score. Once we've done that, we can move on to connecting them. So you can literally create an inner wheel inside your wheel. And normally they look a bit jagged. We're not normally scoring 10 in each area, and it's fine. The scores are the scores. There's no judgment here. But just create an inner wheel and then sit and reflect for a moment about, is that image sort of replicate your feelings in how your life is at the moment? Is it a bit uneven, a bit wobbly, not satisfied in many areas, or satisfied in lots? So just have a reflective moment and think about how that image represents how you're feeling. And then when we're looking at that, we can then create a list of the scores, as you'll see in the example here. So have a look at the list, and it might be you think about, which area would I like to start making some progress in? And it doesn't have to be the lowest scoring at all. It's about, where does your energy feel you want to go with this? So out of those scores, which areas might you want to work on? And then we want to move one incremental step forward. So if you scored a 5, it's what would make it a 6? What's one small realistic goal that you can set yourself that will move you incrementally up that scale of satisfaction by 1 point? So we talk about goals a lot. We need them to be measured, measurable. We need a time frame. We need them to be realistic, something that you can do. So you want to look at your wheel, and then you can either just choose one area and one small goal, or you can map them out, thinking, what would all the goals be in all of these? It's something you can go back to Importantly, it's a self-measurement so that if you work on these in 3 months' time, you look back, do another wheel, and then you can see how far you've shifted from where you were to where you are now. And that's really helpful and motivating because you can see you've been making progress. So work with your client or work with your coach or work with yourself. Have fun with the wheel, make it very personal to you because it is. I hope that's been a helpful explanation and look forward to seeing you again. Put in any comments if you think I've missed something out. I can always add it later. All right, take care for now. Bye bye.